So I started this morning to I actually went through a whole routine of I've got an old laptop, put Windows 10 back on, was going to install Ubuntu, and then I just decided that I want to just see how Windows goes on it. I'm going to have another video about that laptop sometime because it's a long story. So what we might try for a bit of a change of pace is we might put Ubuntu on VirtualBox and see how that goes instead. So having a bit of a bad day. This is another attempt at doing a recording. Everything I seem to be going wrong today. I'm not feeling the best and a bit dazed a bit, so probably not helping. Yeah, I was going to do a laptop install. Let me get that out of my window. Go away. I was going to install a. Oh, what is wrong here? I'm just not having a lot of luck, am I? Let's stop. So yeah, not having a real good day. And I was going to install on this laptop, and it. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It used to have Windows 10 on it. It was a bit old, and I mean, originally I bought it with Windows 7, and I had Windows 8, and Windows 10 was getting a bit glitchy, so I took that off. I put Ubuntu on there to try it, which worked well. I put Windows 10 back on. I don't know whether I want to dual boot it, do something fun with it. I don't know yet, or just go back to Ubuntu. So I don't know what I'm going to do with it yet. So I sort of just quit that video for now while I decide. And I decided what I'll do instead is just for a change of pace. It's a lot easier. It's very hard to video a computer screen when you're doing things anyway. So I thought, well, but put Ubuntu on a virtual drive, which is not dissimilar as far as the actual VirtualBox. It's not dissimilar as far as installation goes. So if we do it on here, nice easy screen, the lighting's better. I've had no end of trouble with lighting, and just yeah. So you can get VirtualBox, easy to download. I've already downloaded, installed it, videoed it, failed. Well, actually, the computer just locked up, and all your files are gone. So it's installed. Fairly easy to install anyway. I'm not going to install it again. Just you go there and you can save the exe. You click it and it installs, and it's fairly easy. You can't really go wrong with that. It's a lot of defaults. I mean, yes, there's a lot of selections. You can say, oh, this. I just went with the defaults, and whatever it said was fine with me, and I just went with that. Cancel that. I don't need multiple copies of it on my. So that was easy. Also got most of the way through installing Ubuntu, but I lost that video too. Been a sad day. So VirtualBox. So I just deleted it all. Start again. So yeah, but it seems pretty straightforward. We can go new. We're going to call it Ubuntu. It's Linux. I think that came with Microsoft Windows there originally, but yeah, I changed it to Linux, Ubuntu. It's the top choice. Next, I'm going to go with less RAM this time. I still want more than that, but I don't want to go that way. That's 1024. Let's go with something bigger. Let's go with 2 gig. I don't know how that's going to go. Ubuntu's fairly heavy for Linux, but we'll go with 2 gig. We'll create a virtual disk. Whatever you think, I'll leave that in your hands. With the defaults, it's got dynamic size, 8 gig there. I was a bit unsure about the 8 gig. I've got plenty of drive space, so let's go with 10. Create that. That part went all right, and I'm going to pause. I'm not going. course. I'm going to stop this video every once in a while, so at least I get some of it and not have to start from scratch. So instead of doing it all in one video, which was a bit of a mistake. So we're ready to now get set up. I'm going to stop that for a second. So we've got that part right. We've got somewhere here in our settings, we've got things like boot order. We don't need floppy. We're going to use optical instead of a USB install because it's all virtual, so it doesn't really matter what we use. I don't even actually have an optical drive on this computer. I think it's in the drawer. I have one you can plug in. It doesn't come with an optical drive by default. It's just it's only a little console type machine, so it's a little tiny box with not much of anything really. So pointing device, USB tablet, PS2 mouse. I'm not sure what it means there. It seemed to be working anyway, but we'll just leave that for the moment. Optical, blah blah blah. There's something else I had to do here. Base memory. Okay, optical drive. We need a disk image. It's obviously got that from before. Normally we'd go to choose, and there's one in my downloads folder, so we'll use that. That's an Ubuntu. And I think that's all we had to do, and see if it crashes again. Actually, before I hit start, just double check everything. Yep. So we're going to hit start and see how we go. And then the actual resolution of the virtual machine is a little bit odd. I'm just going to open it up to whatever size fits. Try and get it. Well, once it gets going. Once it gets going, I'll just open it up to whatever size I can get because bigger the better. Later on, I might make it the full 720 window here and put my face somewhere else. But for now, I'll just have it in a little window outside. 720 is a bit of a pain. I do these up in 720, and then I have to expand them up for the HD on on YouTube, which is a bit of a pain. But it is good because it makes them a bit bigger and you can actually see things. So it is a bit of mucking around later in post, but worth the effort, I think. So we've got our. Okay, I'll get rid of these all sorts of cool stuffs. It's telling me now. This is pretty much when we do if I ever do one with a laptop, I'll probably link to this video because the steps are going to be very similar. You're going to get this same window. You can try it, which will bring up a trial version, which then you can look at and then install from there, or you can just install from here. And since it's a virtual machine, we can install from here very easily, and hopefully it doesn't crash this time. Yeah, why not? We'll download. I don't know how that'll go with that, but we can do that. We'll throw them in here. Third party for graphics might be a Wi-Fi hardware flash. It would be handy to have the MP3, but it doesn't need any of the third party other stuff, so we'll leave it in there. It'll probably won't worry about it because it'll have all virtual devices anyway. Continue that. I've also got a window over the other side that you can't see that is just monitoring my CPU usage to see if it's struggling because it I don't know what happened last time. Plus I had a lot of other things open which probably didn't help. Okay, so here, if you've got this on your laptop and you've just, like I've got an old laptop you don't care about. Once upon a time, you know, computers were probably a big more investment. You only had one. You wanted to do a dual boot. You tried to make sure you didn't lose any of your important data. You backed up, and then you tried to do a dual boot, and you could have your two operating systems on. Yeah, these days you've probably got an old laptop, which is like, you know, you buy a new laptop and you've got this old one that's really not really good for running the current games or just software. So you think, oh, I'll stick Linux on it. So you don't mind. That top option is dead easy. We'll have a look at it in a second. If you have some other drive, you know, say if you've been in Windows and you've allowed a bit of space for it, you've got your drive. You might have Windows install there in your it'll have the Windows partitions, and it might have some free space, and you might want to click on that and say use this space, and Ubuntu can fit in there. You might want to have to create a partition and maybe a swap area, but you can muck around there and actually have the dual boot. I'm wondering whether it's worth doing dual boot computers in this day and age. Even towards the end when I had them, I got to where I was having so much trouble with boot managers, and I think it's even worse now. Even I was like the laptop I'm talking about, it's got legacy BIOS, but the BIOS has changed to the new system and all this sort of thing. It's a lot of hassle. Even when I was last using Linux, I got to where I'd have 2 drives, and I'd have a Linux drive and a Windows drive, and I'd have it where the BIOS would actually, I'd switch in the BIOS whether I wanted to switch one or the other, or even just plug in a different drive. These days, and you can have boot USB these days. You can have a couple of drives, USB drives that you just that you get little terabyte portable drives, and just plug them in when you want to use a particular operating system. It's different days these days. I don't know if it's even worth doing. That's why I stopped doing that last video. So we just quit that and go back, and normally we just click that top option, and that's the easy way. You click that and it just does everything for you. Well, we'll go through that, but what we'll do while we're here, we'll go back. How back far can we go? It'll take us back to here. So what you can also do while you're here is you can hit the try Ubuntu while you're there, and that will, whether you're on a laptop or whatever. So I'm just getting this. It's picking different resolutions. I'm not sure how it works. And yeah, essentially this then gives you a live, and even if this was done with, say, a USB in a laptop, essentially it gives you what it looks like. Actually, server network. Just trying to see if it can actually see the other computer. But if you were in on a laptop, it would actually probably mount the other drives, so you can actually see your files on your computer, which is handy if your computer's playing up something and you're trying to access another drive or something. Sometimes you can actually rescue files with this by just using it as a boot. I used to do that quite a bit nowadays with XP. If it would not boot something and you wanted to grab some files off there before you did any reinstalling, you could get on there and sometimes mount a drive and take your stuff off there, especially in the old FAT days before NTFS. NTFS got a bit more tricky, but FAT was absolutely no problem. You could easily get stuff off. So yeah, you can boot that up and you can actually look at it and you can play around with it. As you see, it's got Office and everything, even though it looks like a fairly small install on the drive. It's actually got quite a bit of stuff in it. And they're quite reasonable Office programs. I used them for years. Well, yeah, I used Star Office when it came out, then OpenOffice Fork, and then I haven't used LibreOffice much, as I must admit, but it's the same sort of thing. It's all very similar. Very, sorry, very similar. So you can also, once you get here, you can play around with it. Oh yeah, that's okay. I then want to install it. You still got to prep for it, obviously. If you want to put it in with Windows, you're going to have to make some space for it or whatever. You used to be able to, the tools, and maybe it depends on the Linux, you used to be able to, there used to be tools built in that would resize in Linux. NTFS made that a little bit harder, I think, and maybe they just stopped doing it because it was too buggy. But you used to be able to, especially with FAT systems, resize them in Linux and do everything from the Linux side of it. That might not be a good idea now, I don't know. But like I say, I'm not even sure dual boot's a good idea. Anyway, we'll go back to the install because we're on a virtual machine. It's safe. We can't really go wrong here. And the sort of laptops I'd be deinstalling it on anyway would be where it didn't matter either, because I don't care. I'm going to wipe it out. It's an old laptop that's got nothing on it. So yeah, we're back to those again. We'll do the updates. We'll just go continue. And here, we'll just do the easy one because it's a virtual machine. It's got a blank disk essentially, ready to go. The only advantage with doing something else is you can see for sure, if you go there, you can see it's definitely the 10 gig. It's not a terabyte drive. It's definitely the 10 gig that we're going to be using on a virtual machine. We're in a virtual machine. Not going to wipe my computer. So we can install now with that nice easy setup. It's going to wipe these disks. Continue. It's setting up swap. It doesn't tell you exactly. It tells you the partition. It doesn't give you partition sizes or anything. It's a bit of a shame. Oh well, we'll find out later. And way it starts to install, and this install, I'll try it on the Lappy later and do check the speeds, because it took about an hour to download. It took about an hour to install Windows 10, and then about an hour to do the updates on Windows 10. So, but you install Windows 10. An hour later, I was using it. Next day, I came in and updated Windows 10. Took a while to download it. But anyway, it took about another hour by the time I did that. So, because it was a major sort of update, I suppose. Oh dear, my eyes. Poor eyes. So where are we? Brisbane. I know Kuwait's got Brisbane up in the Gulf country somewhere. That's where we actually live, somewhere more over there in Townsville, and Brisbane somewhere down here, not in the Gulf. And so good enough. Continue. So keyboard layout. We want to. It's just definitely needs to be a bigger screen somehow. Not sure how I can actually do that easily. So we'll swap that over there where it's a bit out of the way, because we needed bigger. We need more room. I couldn't get to the buttons, so yeah, that's just the keyboard layout. We'll click continue. Now, what's my name? Well, we're going to fake it because it's on a fake drive, so we'll just call myself Zena. I might use my name here. Zena. Password. Yeah. Use a random password. Oh, it's fair. It's a fair password. So that's my how's that going to go? Install. So welcome to Ubuntu. It's interesting. It's going to do this from the graphical interface. Like can't remember what it did when you don't have it in this interface. To be honest. I can't remember. I think it just puts that middle box up. It doesn't have all the icons over here. So there you go. That's actually performing a bit better. I got a bit further this time without it crashing. I don't know. I did have Chrome open with thousands of tabs. Not thousands, but about 20 or 30. And so it probably wasn't helping things. So yes, it goes through that. This actually installs fairly quickly. There's always something on your phone going ding, 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 ding. I'll put it further away. Put it way over there somewhere, and maybe it won't be so noisy. But I keep it on there in case someone's trying to get a hold of me. And people worry about me because I fall over a lot and die and stuff. I haven't died yet. Close, but not yet. So yeah, that's good. A lot of disk activity right now. It's gone 100% on the diskies. Was going really lovely, but now it's flat out now. So I've got to keep a hold of that. I don't know. Oh dear, I don't know what it's doing exactly. This has probably helped not using all the RAMs, but I might have to change that up. I imagine you can edit the amount of RAM usage. I don't know how to go with 2 gig of RAM. You know. It goes very good with 6 gig. I know that much on my Lappy. And it's removing some stuff already. It's doing stuff. Yeah, and then we'll do a bit of a play around. We'll have a bit of a play with the setup. Because it's easier to do it on here where you can see what you're doing. compared to doing it on the laptop where it's just so hard to see the screen. So anyway, it goes through its little installation spiel, normal things. They're actually good about it these days. I mean, once upon a time, well, a lot of Linux especially, was just lots of rolling, here's a camera, lots of rolling text and stuff, and this one's actually pretty good. It gives you lots of little screens and graphics and pretty stuff to say, all the stuff you can do with it. Windows is quite good with that too, and a little Windows puts all those lovely inspirational messages up. Just puts a lot of graphics up, so something to read while you're doing it, or if you don't feel like going for a coffee or something. And it takes, I'm not sure how long it takes, maybe this bit takes, I have no idea. I must remember to time these things, whatever it takes, 10-20 minutes. Not sure, and it probably is, I don't know, I think it is actually downloading stuff off the net now. Of course, you don't have to put any, you would be able to access the virtual network, I imagine, because normally you'd have to put in the, yeah, I think it's actually accessing network. Normally you'd put in the Wi-Fi code on a laptop, and so it would do that anyway. This way it's doing it via the virtual network, because it's running inside another computer, so that just simplifies it a bit. But otherwise, this is going much like you would on a laptop, so it's actually a useful video to link to while you're doing the video. Have a look at this one, get a rough idea what it's really going to look like on your screen, and then doing it on the laptop, pretty much the same thing. Just the hardware is different. Some of the steps might be slightly different. Certainly the install media is slightly different, because you're going to use, probably going to use a USB, or you could use a DVD. I keep saying CD, but it is a DVD. CD. If I say CD by accident, sorry, but I am from the CD days. CDs were amazing things in the day when you had floppies was the best thing. I just have not a lot of luck these days. They used to be good. I think it's like everything. I think it's like the floppies. When floppies first came out, they were really brilliant, really good, and then they started making crap ones, and I think the same thing happened with CDs and DVDs. I'm not sure the quality is there anymore. There's a lot of cheap stuff around, but well. So I'm not sure what it's doing. I think it's downloading stuff off the net. We'll pause again and just come in when the next step's coming, because I mean, all of this so far, you could just walk away and not be here for it, because it's a lot of stuff happening that you don't really need to be around. You can have a coffee, you walk around, see what's going on, and when you come back, it'll be stopped and saying when it wants some input. But it's actually pretty good for that. It doesn't need a lot of input most of the time. So we'll have a break. And after about another 10 minutes or so doing this, I've been looking at the network usage there, and it looks like it's downloading a lot of updates and possibly those files I tick to download stuff on that. So it is taking a while extra to download and do stuff, which is probably a good thing. I have pretty fast net here too, so probably take a while if you've got slow net. So yeah, that's a bit of a toss-up. Do it before you go. Do it before you go to bed, and wake up in the morning with it done. I don't know. I'm not sure how long it would take. Not sure how long it's going to take here. Probably going to take. I wish I would. I did time it, but I've had so many problems with it. When I do it on a laptop, I will. If I do it on a laptop, we'll time it exactly and see how long it takes. So I want to compare it to. Windows, which took like an hour plus an hour for updates. So I don't think this one's going to take anywhere near that long, but it may take an hour, but it seems to be updating as we go. So it's sort of doing both at once. Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Just after I say that, it finishes, so it didn't take too long after all. I don't even think it's been going half an hour. I just can't remember when I started because I had so many abortive starts. Yeah, can't remember. I was going to say it should be on my clock on here, but I've got it in a window. If I was in a full screen, I'd probably have my window, my clock at the bottom, so I'd be able to tell. But anyway, so you wouldn't normally get this screen because it's we're in the test mode. It would just say restart now or something, but we're in the test screen, so we can still be playing with it. I could have been playing with it while we did this, but I just want to get it loaded so we can restart now and reboot the computer and see what happens. I'm just going to resize everything, and we still got that in the background. Fair enough. Remove the installation media. Oh, I wonder if I have to. No, it's already removed it for me. That's nice. The virtual machine has removed my install media, so we can hit enter. Go back to that big screen. Oh, nice. That's a nice one. Have a password. Did I actually enter a password? I think I did. Guest session. Whatever. Not sure where I'm going to put my ugly face. It's a big screen. You'd think it would go anywhere. Ubuntu's always gone for these sort of reddish tones. I have tried changing the background to other, well, when I used it before, tried changing the background to other sorts of colors, but it just doesn't seem to fit. Doesn't seem to fit with the general decor somehow. So yeah, normally you'd have to just maybe redo the Wi-Fi. I don't know if it was on a lappy, but that I am looking over there because I've got my face over there, and also the icons are there. It's on the virtual network, so it doesn't matter. Now it comes with Firefox, and I used to use Firefox all the time. I just don't anymore, so I'm just going to unlock that from the launch for now. And can I, what we'll do for now, until we put no Chromium? Should have Chromium on here. Sure, it should have Chromium. Maybe I've got to install it. Okay, maybe I've got to install it. We put Chromium. We don't need Amazon. We'll leave those there because we want to play with them. That's where your all your software is, and it's fairly good. If we look in here, maybe we might find Chromium. We can also install Chrome, and I probably will. Certainly if I put on the laptop. We've got the Chromium web browser. Can that scroll? Doesn't it allow scrolling? Maybe the scroll. Oh yeah, scroll wheel sort of works. It's going to rain now. Hopefully that won't be able to hear it on the. If there's some noise, it's probably the rain. Although this house is pretty quiet. So you can install Chromium web browser, which is like the open source Chrome. For now, until we install Chrome, proper Chrome, which you have to actually get from Chrome website. But most of these things have got a pretty has a lot of software available for it fairly easily and free. That's all free stuff here. It's installing. So I think that's installed. Yes, there it is, and we can. I think we can actually move that up here, can't we? Yes, we can. So that's all we'll install for the moment, although there is heaps of things to install. Some are very important. GIMP's got GIMP. GIMP is great. I used to use GIMP for years. I probably should download it again because I can actually use GIMP, and I struggle with Photoshop. Photoshop's great. It does lots of stuff, but I'm just not used to it. I'm used to the very odd use. Terminal's already installed. So for the moment, ta-da, we've got it on here, and that's pretty well. It's actually very easy to install, and I've installed on laptops, and it's just as straightforward on a laptop, and possibly even easier on a laptop because you don't have to, especially if you don't care about what's on your laptop or computer. I say laptops because I don't normally That's pretty much what everyone uses these days, tablets and laptops. You put it on your computer. It's dead. You don't have to worry too much about all this virtual machine stuff, so it's a little bit easier. It finds everything fairly easy, especially on older laptops. It's always been the best option because it's usually got things that it's already known. It's not some new and exotic hardware. And I don't know, I'm going to, yeah. Don't know about this rain. I'm going to pause it for a minute and see if it's actually able to hear. So, unusual here, but it's actually pouring rain and someone's slamming a door. Yeah, the layout's obviously a bit different to what you might be used to in Windows, and every Linux has some different layout. KDE had this Windows look for a while, and a lot of them have the launch bar on the top that's got a launch bar on the side. It's all different. XFCE was all had cute. I have to get one of them going one day in another window. Well, I've got this virtual machine. We can try all sorts of Linuxes for fun. So it's a good thing for that. One of those. I think I had to use Slackware originally because it had the later kernel, and it was only way I couldn't access my 1 gig drive on Red Hat. I seem to remember it had the wrong kernel. Back in those days, there were BIOS issues on disk sizes. So yeah, everything's down the side here. That top one you can pretty well type in and find stuff that's actually on the computer. You've got your software there, and Chromium browser works like any browser. We'll download proper Chrome shortly. But yeah, and of course your X is on the wrong side, and of course different ones, the different window managers. That's what I'm doing. Like that. Different window managers are going to welcome to Chrome. So that's sort of pretty well works like Chrome, so maybe I won't even install Chrome. I might see how that goes. Chrome's good though because it allows you to log in, and then pretty much everything's logged in. I don't know if this does it or not, which is why I like Chrome. And then when you go to Mail or YouTube or whatever you log in, it's all there. So that's an advantage of this. Just close that down. Of course, Linux is very layered. You've still got command line. The real Linux is still underneath, which is what it was always done as. It's sort of always server client things. Even the X Windows manager, it's all. So it's always got that Linux underneath, just like pretty much your phone has underneath. But it's very accessible. The terminal's always there somewhere available, and a lot of stuff is available on the terminal, as well as with GUI stuff. And I mean, I don't remember a lot of things there, but you know, simple things like your free memory. It tells you how much it's using of your RAM and how much is free, and that's always a bit complicated anyway because it just uses it all anyway. And then half the time, and then you actually have to go over here to see what's available and how much is actually in just buffers, and so it's actually got plenty of RAM there. The swap. The swap did we end up putting in? Well, we didn't have a choice on the swap, did we? It's only put in the size of the RAM. Normally, if I was doing that on a drive, I would put at least, well, you'd probably put the size of your RAM anyway, but you'd put like 8 or 6 or whatever. You'd put whatever, yeah, whatever useful. What else can we do? You can also get your free space on your drives with DF. It doesn't mean as much on a virtual machine, but you can see your how much your drive is used, and according to that, it's using about half the drive. I thought I put 10, but anyway. Anyway, it's you can see all that from there. What else can you do? You can see what services are running. That's gives you all your running servers, what they're running, the CPU usage, all that sort of thing. So a lot of that sort of thing, and it's available to, I forget what it's called, to have a GUI program in here as well. You can also go through and get all the, like this would mean more on a real machine, obviously, but it tells you all the hardware and what's happened during the boot up. But a place most of us are going to avoid, but if you've loaded Linux, you're probably interested in doing some of that anyway. So, but otherwise, if you're a normal person, I think it was called System Monitor. It's got like a more ordinary system monitor we can run. I think we can probably lock it to launcher. We can. That's more like your normal tools a normal human being would use, with pretty little graphs and so tell us what it's using of its single core CPU. It's actually, I think, it's getting more CPU out of this virtual machine than would get out of my out of the little lappy, to be honest. Network stuff and memories, and swaps, and so yeah, it's lots of handy stuff. And your file manager thing, sometimes this will mount other drives. I don't know if it has a way of actually mounting your real drive outside the virtual machine. Possibly not. Maybe there's a way of, I have to look through the settings of sharing drives or something, or USBs and things like that. I just don't know. That's probably something in your devices. You can probably choose images there, USBs. You can probably, yeah, you can probably add in things there if you wanted to. We don't have to do that. We'll leave that for when we're on a real laptop somewhere where we can play around with real hardware. And of course you've got LibreOffice. I started with StarOffice 5. Oh, no, StarOffice 5. I see a 5, I've got to say 5. I started with StarOffice years and years ago, and used it a bit. It was sort of, I think it was sort of free. I can't remember. I had to pay for it. It was proprietary software, either way. And then there was the OpenOffice fork, and I guess this is another fork of that. There's a lot of forking going on. It's not a bad setup. It will work with Office files, as far as I know. It was OpenOffice certainly did. Works quite well. Do most of your things, but I just don't see the point with it these days. I either will use Microsoft Office, or I can use Google Docs on any machine I want, even my phone, whatever, tablet. It doesn't matter what operating system it's running or what. As long as I can get a browser, I can access Google Docs. So it's quite handy for most of the things, and I only really use Office when I'm doing, the final copy that I'm going to be seeing in Amazon or wherever I'm going to do, if I'm doing a book or something. Otherwise, I'm just going to use Google Docs because it's very shareable and easy. And so there you go. We have a virtual machine, and now I've got tempted to try some other things. I'm going to look around for some other ISOs. I ran a Slackware server for years, but it didn't have a graphical interface. Well, it probably did, but I didn't use it much. It was usually telnetted in or SSA or whatever it was. I'd get a shell thing and talk to it from another computer, and it was just running server. I ran Minecraft server or something on it, or mostly it was a file server, mail server. Yeah, just did stuff. It was actually a dual core. It was a dual CPU, but they were actually on separate slots because it was probably a Pentium 2 or Pentium 3 slotted. CPUs had 2 of them, and they were actually air-cooled. It was a beautiful machine. I've got to go collect it sometime. I've actually left it with a friend of mine, and I don't know if it's still in one piece or whether it's corroded away or something, but you should go get it going because that was a fun old machine. It was very quiet, didn't have fans on the CPUs, only had a power supply fan, which you could probably even replace that with a fanless or something, or a slow fan that was fairly quiet. And very nice old machine, slow I guess by today's standards, but it was quite good as a file server. So that is very easy to do. No excuse. No, I don't want to save the changes because it's just rubbish. So I have a virtual Ubuntu, and then one day when I'm feeling a bit better, or when I've decided to what I'm going to do with that Lappy, which is actually running. I don't know what to do because it's the Windows 10 runs like a dog on it when you first start up, but then it seems to go all right. So, but I don't really need another Windows 10 machine either. So, I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. I don't need another computer. So, and it's not really worth giving to anybody because it's an old machine that's with a small drive that doesn't really do a lot. So, yeah, I'd probably put some version of Linux on there and see how it goes. But until then, have a play around with Linux. It's easy way to do it is on a virtual machine. It should tell me a bit about here. There you go. It's a Intel Core i7, so it knows what the processor it is, but it's I don't know. That's the real processor, but I don't think we're using all of it. And that's not that's some virtual graphics, obviously, and 8.3 gig. I thought maybe I didn't get around to change it. I meant to change that. I thought I did, but I had so many restarts that I probably didn't. Maybe that's changeable. I'll have a look when I shut it down. So that was fun. Easy to do. Very easy to set up. Yeah, it's like it's gone a bit the way of Windows. It's got a lot of default settings, and like I say, you can even go to Chrome if you want to install Chrome. Oh, download now. There's a tablet making that ting. I don't know why. Someone's probably talking to me. Download Chrome. 64-bit Debian Ubuntu. Accept and install. It's downloading a deb. Open it. Back in the old days, this sort of thing was very hard on Linux, but a lot of these new ones have made it very easy. So this software comes from a third party and it's non-free. So if you've got a bit of a hard on about being totally free, don't do it. Everything's password in Linux. Yeah. Somebody's trying to talk to me. Someone's having driveway trouble with their car. Someone's in their way. So we have Chrome. We get rid of that. And then we should be able to... It should be in here, I dare say, would it? Chrome. Google Chrome. And there you go. Can we then stick it over there? Whoa. It's made it really easy. Linux is so easy to use these days. We'll have to install an old school Linux just to see what it's like. So yeah, then we got Google Chrome, and we can probably I'll leave it there for the moment. I might want to play with it. I haven't really played with that. It's like the free Chrome. So it's all real Chrome. So if I open up the real Chrome, then I can put in my stuff, which I did if it was on a Lappy. It'd be useful. Make Google Chrome. Yes, Spy on me, Chrome. I know you want to. That's interesting. It's actually got its own. There's a trouble with Linux. Is every app using every different what a problem? Every app using different libraries and that might have a different setup. You just don't see how it's gone over there. So, and when you take it out of that, it's got it over there. Whereas normally it would be over there. So yeah, different libraries are going to have different things. There's consistency is a little bit down the tube. So yeah, so I can put my email in there and sign in, and I've got my access to all my Chromie stuff. So that's always handy. And sorry, Ubuntu it's had an error. I don't know if that's to do with show details. Utility scope loader. So it had some sort of issue. I don't know if that's something to do with the virtual machine or something, but send an error report. Why not? They'll get that and go, what the hell is this? So there you go. That was fun. I'll have to do a lot of editing to get this down to size because I filmed a lot of crap. But that was fun. Virtual Ubuntu, since we didn't get a real Ubuntu today. But we'll do a real Ubuntu sometime, just as soon as I figure out whether I'm going to do dual boot or single boot, or as far as I can work out, the dual boot's going to be a little bit tricky, or not too bad. There may be some boot issues with Windows 10. I did actually do a bit of reading, but we'll have a look at it. We might do it sometime just for fun. I just don't know if it's worth doing. So anyway, later.